things and stuff. Hello, tiny computer camera. How's it going? I'm in a really good mood because today is Friday and I'm dressed as a Power Ranger. Power Ranger! Power Ranger! Power Ranger! That just happened. So today I wanted to talk about something I've decided to call the Eye of Sauron. It's a bit of a dramatic name, I know. I thought of other names for this video that were things like the voices in my head or watching yourself. But I decided that all of those made me sound like a bit of a crazy and broken human being. Kind of like...
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
And so I decided instead to stick with the Eye of Sauron, because it's a bit dramatic, but it pretty much sums up what I'm about to go on about. I constantly feel like I'm being observed. And there's this little voice in my head that just constantly critiques and constantly tells me off for doing things, or tells me I should do something else, or constantly judges what I'm doing. So even when I'm completely on my own, I feel like I'm always being watched. Here's an example. I'm at Burger King this morning and I decide to get myself a healthy breakfast. Roller skates. And so I approach the counter. And looking up, I decide I want one of those burger McCheesy obese snacks. And so I'm waiting in line, ready to do this, and then suddenly I overhear two people talking. They're both going for the breakfast cardiac arrest burger, and so I suddenly hear the voice of Sauron. Are you completely insane? You can't have the Abiso burger, it's breakfast time. You have to have what normal people like those two are having. Quickly, everybody's watching. They'll find out what you actually are and lock you up in an asylum forever. And so I end up leaving with something I didn't actually want to buy because I felt like I was being judged by an external voice. Whilst watching Netflix last night, I decided to watch a lot of Pokemon episodes because there are Pokemon episodes now on Netflix. Gotta watch them all, no social life. But then halfway through watching my third episode, the voice of Sauron says, "What's wrong with you? Are you 5? Nobody watches as much Pokemon. If you carry on watching Pokemon, you're going to die, and you'll give birth to deformed bear babies, and the bear babies will kill you and eat you alive." So, of course, I go to turn it off. But then the voice of Sauron says, "Are you going to turn off a TV show just because of a voice in your head? Are you absolutely crazy? Nobody does that." Which means I then have to go and pretend to make myself a sandwich whilst Pokemon is on, because I don't want to be the person that watches more than 2 episodes of Pokemon, but I'm not actually hungry and I don't want a sandwich. So then the voice of Sauron says, "So well done, you've now made yourself a fake sandwich that you don't actually want just because you're too weirded out to turn Pokemon off. Are you going to force yourself to eat it now?" So I force myself to eat the sandwich whilst facing away from the television screen, unable to turn Pokemon off. God, it's a wonder that I even managed to get myself out of bed every morning. I mean, the Eye of Sauron isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it makes me do good stuff. For example, if I'm sitting around and doing nothing and the voice of Sauron says, "Do you really want to be the man that was only ever famous for Wikipediaing strange articles and looking at pictures of cats on skateboards? Come on, what would Hermione Granger do?" Then maybe I do something more interesting, like make a Pokemon costume, or write a story, or make a new video. When I was walking back from work one day, there were these 2 husky puppies running along. They had no owner, they just had these leashes dangling behind them. Now, to be honest, my first thought was, I don't want to deal with this, I'm really tired, I just want to go home. But then the voice of Sauron said, "If you don't do something to help, then you might as well have killed those puppies. I mean, why don't you just pick up a rock now and bludgeon them over the head? No? You don't want to do that? You don't want to feel bad about it? Then maybe you should do something, Sasha." So I ended up tracking the 2 dogs down and with a few other people finding their owners and getting them home, and that's a good thing, right? Sometimes it's less of a Sauron voice and more of like a wise, friendly, all-knowing Gandalf voice. So do you have a voice in your head? And if so, what would you call it if you had to give it a name? And finally, do you find it's a really critical voice, or does it sometimes make you do good things as well? As ever, if you enjoy this, then please subscribe. I'm going to try and put something out pretty much every week. If you liked it, give it a like, and I love to hear your feedback, so definitely put a comment below. Otherwise, it's a little bit like me just screaming into a bucket. I'm alive, please listen to me. Or being the last survivor in a zombie apocalypse. If you can hear me, please come soon. They're coming. And that's it. So, goodbye.